Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the all-new 2020 Ram 2500 with the diesel engine. This one is also in the Night Edition, which is my favorite package for the heavy duties. So anyways, we're going to do a quick walk around on the truck, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A huge shout out and thank you to Larry Miller, Dodge Ram, Jeep Cresta here in Sandy, Utah for providing us with the truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get into the video. Under the hood here, we have the 6.7 liter Cummins in line 6 that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission, also known as the 68 RFE. Power outputs are 370 horsepower and then 850 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over things on the front end of the Laramie Night Edition. So the hood is pretty much the same as all of the other Rams. The only difference is there's that little black logo on the side. Usually it's chrome on the other packages. Now I've got the lights on so you guys can see what the LED lights look like. I love the accent lights. It's a very unique look for the truck. You got the blacked out grille that'll come with all of the Night Edition. So even though this is granite crystal on the body, the grille will still be black. You got your tow hooks down below with the fog lights in that area, and there are parking sensors at the front bumper. And the observant viewer will also note that it is snowing outside right now. Now coming around to the side here, we've got two 75mm tires on 20-inch rims. They're all blacked out with this Night Edition package. Same thing in the front as what's in the rear. I like how the rims are all blacked out. Definitely goes with the whole theme of the truck. And then I'm just gonna give you guys kind of like a look at the suspension, all that kind of stuff under there. And I've got the Cummins badge there on the side, 2500 heavy duty Ram badge there. And then let me just take a step back so you guys can see what the crew cab Night Edition looks from the side, and then also kind of like the stance on the truck, which, I mean, a leveling kit would help this out because the nose does kind of dive down a little bit, but I mean the truck is relatively level actually. Here's our key fob for the 2500 Laramie. It says Ram on the back. You got a couple functions on the front. You've got your unlock, your lock, remote start, and then the tailgate drop down. Now we'll do the remote start first so you guys can hear the exhaust before we do the drive portion, obviously. Definitely the best sounding diesel in my opinion right now for heavy duties. Now hold that down again and then it'll shut it off, and then we can do the tailgate release by just pressing that button. That'll drop down the rear tailgate. This one has a bed liner from the factory, so it extends all the way onto the tailgate and then throughout the rest of the bed. I really like just the feel of it. It's kind of like not too spongy, but it's just also like abrasive enough that it'll hold things in place pretty nicely. LED bed lights on both sides of the bed, and then you've got the cargo light up there, and this one does have the cargo camera, which I'll show in a minute. This is a 6'4" box, so here's kind of a look at that. And then lifting up the bed is extremely easy. Just kind of gotta boom, put it into place, and yeah. Now I've got full LED lights in the back there, and I've got them turned on so you guys can see what those look like. Now I do want to mention this one does come with the kick step, which is a pretty cool little addition to the trucks. So it's that little step there, and then obviously you can kind of just step up and yeah. And then when you are done with it, all you have to do is just kick it back, and that's why I call it the kick step. But anyways, this little part of the light is kind of blacked out, which again goes with that Night Edition package. All blacked out badging on the back. And then you still get the same receiver hitch, all the plugins for towing in the back, all that's the same. Parking sensors in the rear, nothing has changed there. And here's just kind of one more look at the rear. Coming here to the back, here is the door panel on the rear of the Laramie. Now this one's got the Harman Kardon sound system. I can tell just by the shape of the speaker. Leather trim up here with the stitching. You got the suede inserts here with the black trim. You got kind of like more leather with the stitching at the top, which this isn't as soft as what's down here. Here are the seats in the back of the Laramie crew cab. Now they've got those same little suede inserts on them. Definitely a nice little touch to it. Kind of just creates some contrast on the seats, especially along with the piping. Ice buckets on the bottom with the crew cab. You can pick up the seats in the crew cab for a little extra storage underneath there, and then these will fold out. Now before we step in, I just want to go over the center console area. Cup holders at the top of the black trim. You got the full power outlet right here with the USB ports, and now I gotta throw the keys in. Okay, so the best way to get in is just to grab this grab handle and pull up really hard. So yeah, that works. Now I don't know what's on my pants here, but anyways, legroom back here is okay. The Ram 1500 crew cabs actually have more legroom than the heavy duties. Right now, if it's a crew cab to crew cab. In terms of headroom, I mean, I'm about 5'11", and I feel like I've got more than enough headroom back here. If someone was like probably just a bit over 6 foot, they probably would have a little bit of an issue with headroom back here. But other than that, I mean, It's relatively comfortable, and then if you're wondering with getting out, when you don't have side steps, you just kind of gotta. Now we have keyless entry here at the front, so one touch to lock it and then to unlock it. Just put your hand on the back of the door handle. Now this is a random point, but I like that they made this kind of like trim right here black, so then it kind of goes along with the windows. Some car manufacturers will make this like body painted or just some other color, chrome or something. I'm glad they did it black because it looks good, especially if you end up tinting the windows, and it all kind of matches in a line. The other thing to mention is the trailer mirrors. So these will flip up. They are power folding, so that flip up function is manual, but you can power fold them in. I'll show in a second. Blind spot monitoring on them. Now, if we look at the door panel here at the front, it's identical to the rear. You can see even the speaker pretty much looks the same. All of this stuff is all the same. Window controls here. Now that's the button to power fold in the mirrors themselves. Now the cool thing about these mirrors is these are the adjustments for it, so that'll adjust the regular mirror. Now if you press this button up here, that'll adjust the little convex mirror, so both of those are power adjustable. Here's the seats in the front of the Laramie. They say Laramie on them, and then you've got the nice little suede inserts. Power adjustments are going to be on the side of the seat right there. And in terms of the actual support, they're actually pretty soft with the seats. Here's all of your pedal layout, all those functions down there like the hood latch and the parking brake. Light controls are here. Those are your fog lights. That's your cargo light. Pedal adjustment, and then the steering wheel adjustment. Now getting into the front's just as fun as the back, so we've kind of got to, okay, we're in. And when we're in, put your foot on the brake, push the push start. It'll do the diesel preheat for you if it's not warmed up already like this one is. It says Laramie there in the middle, then you're good to go. Here's a full view of the steering wheel in the Laramie. Cruise controls are on that side. You've got your little gear selector. I like the little stitching on it. It's black, so it actually matches. I know that some people would wish for white stitching, but I think it's pretty cool they all like kind of made it blacked out on the steering wheel. And then the next thing to mention is the actual leather on the steering wheel. Very, very smooth. Right now, like Ford, for example, their steering wheels on their Lariats just aren't as smooth as what Ram has, so definitely a nicer feeling steering wheel. And then we've got our voice command controls and then controls to the center stack. And I did forget to mention, this one's got memory seats right there. That's your stock for the turn signal, doing the high beams, and then also the windshield wipers. And then it does have a column shifter for that 6-speed automatic. Here's our gauge cluster. RPMs are on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speedo, and then you've got all the regular menus that you can scroll through on the Rams. That's what it says for average MPG on the truck right now, even though it doesn't really have any miles on it. But yeah, I like the look of the gauge cluster. Definitely probably the nicest, cleanest looking gauge cluster on the truck industry right now. Now here's kind of like a whole look at the center pad for the 12-inch display. You get a little 12 volt at the top of it, but actually looking at the 12-inch display, there's a ton of stuff happening on here, so let's kind of break it down into different segments. At the bottom here, we've got the controls for the parking sensors, your tow haul mode, the diesel exhaust brake, trailer brake controls are right next to it. Over on the side here, you've got their shifter for the 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low, true neutral. And then on both sides of the touchscreen, you got the climate controls, and then you got the volume control, and then like the channel control for the radio. And then in terms of the rest of the functionality on the touchscreen itself, touch response time is really solid on the touchscreen. I'm not noticing anything new from 2019. It looks like it's all pretty much the same. I can pop it into reverse. Backup camera system looks like it's all the same, and it's got all the same views for the camera system. Got a little cargo camera. I mean, the side cameras, yeah, functionality on those is all the same. So yeah, I'm not really noticing anything different, at least from the camera perspective. Now, I mean, other than that, it's got some split screen functions. I mean, you can see it's doing that with the camera system, and then you can also do it with like the controls tab. You do get heated and ventilated seats, which I'm gonna turn off because it's a little bit too warm for me for that right now. And other than that, you can drag and drop things down to that sidebar. And yeah, that's pretty much a very, very simple breakdown of the 12-inch display. Here is the center console. We've got the nice white stitching there. And then it does have felt here in the center with a little USB port. And then picking up the rest of the center console, again, little tables that everyone knows about. This part slides back and forth for adjustability. There's some space where you can hold your phones, a couple of USBs up here, a full power outlet down at the bottom of the center console. In terms of like functionality on this, I definitely like the storage space on this and the functionality. I think this is probably the best center console right now, just in any pickup truck. Now we've got the Laramie logo there at the top. Again, we've got kind of like the leather up here with the stitching. Opening up both of the glove boxes, they're both lined with felt on the inside of them. And you can see just how much storage space there is with both of those. And that's all. Up top here, first we've got the power sliding window. So you press that. Man, that takes a while. But yeah, that's how you open and close the window in the back. Universal garage door openers. Up here, your light controls. And then it is a fully black headliner here in the night edition. We've wrapped things up on the interior. Let's finish up by going over pricing. So this particular Laramie 2500 with all of the features that it has, stickers for about $72,000 for any type of market adjustment. And a lot of people have been getting confused in my videos. Market adjustment doesn't mean that the vehicle goes over MSRP. That means the vehicle could go over or under MSRP. Just depends on the market adjustment on the vehicle. It's kind of in the name. Anyways, let's take this Laramie 2500 out to see how it drives. Before we set off, let's talk about my new camera setup first and then visibility. So I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below if you like the new kind of like driving portion of this with all the GoPros and everything. Just let me know if you kind of like the views, all that kind of stuff a little bit better than what it has been in the past. But anyways, visibility over the hood is just like any other Ram, heavy duty visibility throughout both of the mirrors. Again, nothing's changed there. And then visibility throughout all of the rear, it's really good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's set off. Now, initially setting off here, let's talk about road noise and ride quality. So in terms of the ride quality, I mean, just like all of the other 2500s, it's actually pretty smooth for a heavy duty truck. It's not that much smoother than a 3500, but it is a little bit smoother. If you're used to a half-ton truck, this is going to be bumpier compared to what your half-ton is like. And then in terms of the actual road noise that comes through, you hear a ton of noise from that 6.7 liter Cummins. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of other noise that comes into the cabin. There's a little bit of tire noise, but not that much, and wind noise is pretty minimal as well. Most of the noise that you hear, again, is just from the Cummins. And I'm taking it around this little turn here, and you can see that the steering is extremely light. It's the electronically assisted power steering, and it's good this truck stops so you guys can see the brakes in action. But anyways, steering is very light. There's a little bit of vagueness, but it's relatively direct in general. But again, there is just a little bit of on-center vagueness you guys can see. And I mean, that is pretty typical with most heavy-duty trucks. Now we're just gonna wait for this guy to pass by, and then we're gonna take another turn so you guys can kind of see the radius on the truck. Yeah, and turning radius there is really solid. I mean, it's really easy to actually maneuver this truck. So even though there's a little bit of on-center vagueness with the steering, the actual turning radius itself is super solid. And now we're gonna get an acceleration here. So get ready for it. Oh boy, about to unleash 370 horsepower. Yeah, it's all torque, just like any other diesel engine. It is all torque. And here's an exhaust clip quickly. Now that that exhaust clip is obviously done, in terms of the actual acceleration itself, it's really quick, and I mean, most of it's torque, so just off the line, it's super strong. It does die off at the top end a little bit, but I mean, that's expected for a diesel engine. All diesels are kind of like that, but I mean, it's more than adequate for power. Like, I don't really feel the need for more power with this engine. And to sum things up on this 2500 Laramie, this is kind of like a really solid value for a truck. I mean, you're getting pretty much all of the luxury features. but you're not paying the premium for a luxury truck like the Limited or the Longhorn. So Laramie, you get all the features, but again, like I said, you're not really paying the premium, so it's kind of like you get the best bang for your buck in terms of a luxury truck, if that's what you're looking for. If you're not looking for a luxury truck, then yeah, I completely understand. But if you are looking for a luxury truck, then the Laramie is going to be a great route to go. And there we have it, everyone. The all-new 2020 Ram 2500 Laramie in the Night Edition package. Definitely love this package. My pick would be kind of like maybe doing white with this truck, so you can see a little bit more contrast between the black grille and then the body of the truck. But anyways, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you think, and then again, a big shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for providing us with a truck. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.